With checklist templates, automating the transaction management process is made easier, making sure every task is completed and every document is uploaded. Custom checklist templates can be used for individual checklist items, making separate lists for listing, purchases, and short sales easier, tasks and documents, milestones, so any item that should be completed at a specific time will have a due date, and template management, which makes any quick changes to an existing template easy. To create a new checklist template, navigate to the Checklist tab located under Settings. From here, you'll see two pre-selected templates in Brokerman for buying and listing that are fully customizable. Click the Action button to add a task, rename, clone, or delete this template. Please note, if you plan to update the buying or listing checklist, we recommend cloning these first, renaming them to fit your business needs, and then making the necessary changes. For this video, we're going to create a new checklist template to build off of by clicking the Add Templates link here. From the pop-up window, name your template something that is relevant to the action items that'll be added, and then click Add. Keep in mind that you'll want to create a checklist template for each transaction type that's been created under Fields, Transaction Types. Now that our template's been created, we can start building off of it by adding different tasks. To do this, click the Action button in the top right-hand corner and then click Add Task. At the top of this pop-up window, select the role of the user who will be completing this task from the drop-down menu next to Be Completed By. Next, you'll want to give this task a name and an optional description which will be displayed when selecting the task. Under the description, mark the Requires a Document checkbox to require an agent to attach a document to this task. And last, if this task needs to be done by a specific date, enter those requirements here and then click Add Task. Now that you've created your template and have added any needed tasks, you can then assign the appropriate checklist to a transaction. Navigate to the Transactions tab under Overview and then select the desired transaction. From here, click the Add link located under Checklists. From the Add Checklist pop-up, select the checklist you want to use and then enter an acceptance date if the template references a few important transaction milestones before clicking the Add button. Once the checklist has been assigned, you'll then see the previously added set of tasks and documents that should be completed. Please note, you can have multiple checklists inside a transaction. It's especially useful for creating small separate checklists for things like pre-listing tasks or post-closing tasks, for example. If you have a task that's past due within your transaction, you can edit the due date if needed. To do this, navigate to the checklist within your transaction and then select the task that needs to be adjusted. Next, click the Edit Task button, adjust the deadline, and then click Save to keep those changes. If you don't have the Edit Task button within your checklist, you'll need to request this permission from your admin. There are some instances, for example, where a transaction is under contract and then it suddenly falls through. When this happens, you can void out the checklist associated with the transaction instead of deleting it. From the Checklist tab within the appropriate transaction, select the checklist you need to void. In the top right-hand corner, click the Action button and select the Void Checklist option. A pop-up message is going to appear saying, "Warning, you are about to void the checklist. All incomplete tasks will be deleted along with all the notes inside them." Once Void is clicked, all documents that were uploaded before voiding this checklist will be saved. Any incomplete tasks will be deleted and notes made on those incomplete tasks will not be saved. You can then rename the voided checklist to identify it from the rest of the checklists later. In rare instances, when you need to delete a checklist, you can do this under the Checklist tab within the appropriate transaction. Select the checklist that needs to be deleted and then click the Action button in the top right-hand corner. Click the Delete Checklist option from the drop-down where a pop-up window will display with 2 options to select. Mark the radio button for Remove All Checklist Documents to delete all documents, tasks, and notes that were uploaded to this checklist. Or mark the Move All Checklist Documents into the Unsorted folder to save all the documents uploaded to the specific folder, and then click the Delete button to complete the action.